Look closely at the face of a woman who feels she has aged overnight, and you are not just seeing the passage of time, you are witnessing biology under strain. Wrinkles, sagging, dullness, thinning skin, these are often blamed on birthdays, but science tells a more confronting story. Much of what we call aging is not simply time passing, it is cells starving. By the age of 50, a woman can lose up to 30% of her skin's collagen in the first 5 years after menopause. 30%. That structural protein, the very scaffolding that keeps skin firm and lifted, begins to collapse rapidly as estrogen declines. And collagen cannot be built without specific nutrients. The body does not magically produce it out of thin air. It requires vitamin C as an essential cofactor. Without adequate vitamin C, collagen fibers become weak, unstable, and poorly formed. This is not cosmetic theory, this is biochemistry. When researchers examine aged skin under a microscope, they do not just see old skin, they see fragmented collagen fibers, increased oxidative damage, reduced cellular turnover, and impaired barrier function. In plain language, they see malnourished tissue. Skin is the body's largest organ, yet it is the last to receive nutrients after vital organs are fed. If there is even a marginal deficiency, the skin will show it first. Vitamin C levels in the skin naturally decline with age. Studies have shown that both the epidermis and dermis contain significantly lower concentrations of vitamin C in older individuals compared to younger adults. This matters because vitamin C is not only required to synthesize collagen, it is one of the skin's most powerful antioxidants. Every day, your skin is bombarded by ultraviolet radiation, pollution, cigarette smoke, and metabolic byproducts known as free radicals. These unstable molecules attack cell membranes, DNA, and proteins. Without sufficient antioxidant protection, the damage accumulates. What you see as wrinkles is often oxidative stress etched into tissue, and it does not stop there. Vitamin E, another crucial antioxidant, protects the lipid membranes of skin cells. After menopause, as estrogen declines, skin becomes thinner and drier because estrogen plays a role in maintaining hydration and oil production. Research shows that postmenopausal women experience measurable decreases in skin thickness and elasticity. When vitamin E intake is low, the protective barrier weakens further, allowing more transepidermal water loss. The result is dryness, roughness, and accelerated fine lines. This is not vanity, it is physiology. Then there is vitamin A, particularly in the form of beta-carotene from plants, which regulates gene expression involved in skin cell growth and differentiation. Skin renews itself roughly every 28 to 40 days in youth. With age, that turnover slows dramatically. Dead cells accumulate on the surface, creating a dull, uneven complexion. Clinical research has demonstrated that retinoids, derivatives of vitamin A, can stimulate collagen production and normalize cell turnover. But here is the critical truth. If the body lacks sufficient vitamin A precursors from the diet, renewal slows from the inside out long before a cream is ever applied. This is where the narrative must shift. The beauty industry often tells women that aging is inevitable, that decline is unavoidable, that creams and procedures are the only defense. Yet epidemiological studies consistently show that diets rich in fruits, vegetables, nuts, and healthy fats are associated with fewer wrinkles and better skin elasticity. In one large observational study, higher intakes of vitamin C and linoleic acid were associated with less skin wrinkling and dryness. Food patterns mattered more than expensive products. Consider this shocking fact: subclinical nutrient deficiencies are common even in developed countries. A person may not have scurvy, yet still have insufficient vitamin C for optimal collagen synthesis. Blood levels considered normal are often merely enough to prevent disease, not enough to optimize tissue repair. The gap between survival and vitality is where accelerated aging hides. After the age of 50, digestive efficiency declines. Stomach acid production can decrease, impairing the absorption of key nutrients. Medications commonly prescribed to older adults, including acid blockers, further reduce nutrient availability. So even if the diet appears adequate on paper, the tissues may still be undernourished. The skin again reveals the truth. Inflammation also rises with age, a phenomenon researchers call inflammaging. Chronic low-grade inflammation increases the production of enzymes known as matrix metalloproteinases, which break down collagen. Oxidative stress activates these enzymes. Antioxidants like vitamin C and E help counter this cascade. Without them, collagen degradation accelerates. The face quite literally reflects inflammatory chemistry. And here is what makes this urgent. The changes are not purely cosmetic. Thinning skin is more prone to tearing. Reduced barrier function increases susceptibility to infection. Slower wound healing is associated with lower vitamin C status. What begins as a wrinkle can signal deeper systemic vulnerability, yet there is hope written into every cell. Nutrient repletion can shift biology. Clinical studies have shown that improving vitamin C intake increases dermal collagen density. Supplementation trials with vitamin E demonstrate improved skin hydration and reduced markers of oxidative damage. Diets high in carotenoid-rich vegetables increase skin carotenoid levels, which are measurable indicators of antioxidant capacity and are associated with a healthier skin tone. This is not about reversing time, it is about restoring supply lines. When a woman begins consistently consuming colorful vegetables, citrus fruits, leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and healthy oils, she is not merely eating, she is delivering raw materials to fibroblasts, the cells responsible for producing collagen and elastin. She is reducing oxidative stress at the cellular level. She is supporting gene expression patterns that favor repair over breakdown. The transformation can feel almost overnight, not because wrinkles vanish in hours, but because hydration improves, inflammation decreases, and light reflects differently from nourished tissue. Skin appears brighter when blood vessels are supported and oxidative pigments are reduced. Fine lines soften when the barrier retains moisture. Energy improves when mitochondrial function is supported by adequate micronutrients. The glow people notice is often systemic renewal made visible. Aging is inevitable, malnourishment is not. When we reframe wrinkles as potential nutrient signals rather than personal failures, empowerment replaces fear. The body has an extraordinary capacity to repair when given what it requires. Science does not promise immortality, but it does reveal that many visible signs of rapid aging are modifiable risk factors rooted in biochemistry. So the next time you look in the mirror and feel that time has betrayed you, remember this: your skin is not simply counting years, it is reporting cellular conditions. Feed the cells, protect them from oxidative assault, support their renewal cycles, and the story written on your face can change. Not because you fought aging with force, but because you nourished life at its foundation. And that is where true radiance begins. There is a moment many women experience sometime after 50 when they look in the mirror and wonder when their skin began to look tired, when the firmness softened, when the glow dimmed. It can feel sudden, almost overnight. But beneath the surface, something measurable has been happening for years. Collagen production has been slowing, oxidative stress has been rising, cellular renewal has been quietly losing momentum. And science reveals that 3 essential vitamins sit at the center of this story: vitamin C, vitamin E, and vitamin A. By the time a woman reaches menopause, research shows she can lose up to 30% of her skin's collagen within the first 5 years. Collagen is not a beauty buzzword, it is the structural protein that gives skin strength, elasticity, and thickness. Without it, skin folds instead of springs back. And here is the critical truth: your body cannot manufacture stable collagen without vitamin C. In controlled laboratory studies, fibroblast cells deprived of vitamin C produce weak, poorly formed collagen fibers. The triple helix structure literally fails to stabilize. That sagging jawline, those deepening lines around the mouth, may not simply be age, they may reflect a biochemical shortage. Vitamin C does more than build collagen, it neutralizes free radicals generated by ultraviolet radiation and pollution. Dermatological research shows that UV exposure increases reactive oxygen species in the skin, triggering enzymes called matrix metalloproteinases that actively break down collagen. Vitamin C inhibits these destructive pathways. In clinical studies, higher vitamin C intake has been associated with fewer wrinkles and better skin appearance. This is not cosmetic marketing, it is peer-reviewed data. But collagen construction alone is not enough if the structure is left unprotected. This is where vitamin E enters the narrative. Vitamin E is a fat-soluble antioxidant embedded directly into the lipid membranes of your skin cells. Think of it as a bodyguard stationed at the cell wall. When oxidative stress strikes, vitamin E absorbs the impact, preventing chain reactions that would otherwise damage cell membranes. Research has shown that vitamin E levels in the skin decline with age, making older skin more vulnerable to environmental assault. Without adequate vitamin E, lipid peroxidation increases, weakening the skin barrier and accelerating moisture loss. The result is dryness, fragility, and fine lines that seem to deepen by the week. The synergy between vitamins C and E is one of the most fascinating partnerships in human biology. When vitamin E neutralizes a free radical, it becomes oxidized itself. Vitamin C then regenerates vitamin E back to its active state. It is a recycling system built into nature. Clinical trials combining vitamin C and E have demonstrated enhanced photoprotection compared to either vitamin alone. Together they reduce UV-induced damage more effectively than separate defenses. This is teamwork at the molecular level. And then there is vitamin A, often misunderstood, often feared in high synthetic doses, yet absolutely essential in its natural form. Vitamin A regulates gene expression related to skin cell growth and differentiation. It tells immature skin cells how to mature properly. It stimulates fibroblasts to produce collagen. It increases cell turnover, shedding dull, damaged cells and replacing them with fresher ones. Dermatology has relied on retinoids, vitamin A derivatives, for decades because they measurably reduce fine lines and improve skin texture. Histological studies show increased collagen deposition in skin treated with retinoids. This is documented under microscopes not imagined in mirrors, but the body does not require extreme pharmaceutical doses to benefit. Beta-carotene from carrots, sweet potatoes, pumpkin and leafy greens provides a safe precursor the body converts as needed. Population studies reveal that individuals with higher carotenoid levels in their blood tend to have a healthier, more golden skin tone, often perceived as more youthful and vibrant. Carotenoids also act as antioxidants, quenching singled oxygen generated by sun exposure. They serve as both pigment and protector. When these three vitamins operate together, something remarkable happens. Vitamin C constructs the collagen framework. Vitamin E shields the lipid barrier from oxidative collapse. Vitamin A directs cell renewal and strengthens the dermal matrix. Remove one, and the system weakens. Support all three, and the biology shifts toward resilience. Consider the reality of modern life. Environmental pollution generates oxidative stress at unprecedented levels. Processed diets often lack sufficient fresh produce and healthy fats. Surveys in developed nations consistently show that a significant percentage of adults fail to meet recommended intakes for key micronutrients, including vitamins A and C. These are not rare deficiencies in distant regions. They are common gaps hidden in plain sight. As estrogen declines after menopause, skin thickness decreases and wound healing slows. Estrogen itself has antioxidant properties and supports collagen synthesis. When its influence wanes, the body becomes more dependent on nutritional antioxidants to maintain balance. Without adequate intake of vitamins C and E, oxidative stress accelerates what many assume is natural aging. It may be natural for hormones to shift, but the severity of visible decline can be amplified by nutritional neglect. Clinical evidence continues to mount. Studies supplementing vitamin C have shown improvements in dermal density. Research on vitamin E demonstrates reduced markers of oxidative damage and improved hydration. Trials with vitamin A derivatives show measurable increases in collagen content and decreased wrinkle depth over time. These are not overnight miracles, yet the visible improvements in tone, smoothness, and radiance can begin within weeks when deficiencies are corrected. The transformation often surprises women. They expect gradual decline. Instead, they witness gradual renewal. Skin appears brighter because microcirculation improves and oxidative pigments diminish. Fine lines soften as hydration stabilizes. Texture smooths as cell turnover normalizes. Hair gains luster. Nails strengthen. Energy subtly rises. It feels almost like time reversed course, but what truly happened was restoration of supply. The body is not designed to decay prematurely. It is designed to repair, provided it receives the materials required. Fibroblasts are still capable of producing collagen in later decades of life. Keratinocytes can still renew efficiently. Antioxidant networks can still function powerfully, but they cannot operate without raw ingredients. Imagine 3 silent guardians working beneath your skin every second. One building structure, one defending boundaries, one directing renewal. When all 3 are nourished, the tissue regains integrity. When even one falters, weakness spreads. The mirror reflects not just your age, but the status of these guardians. The tragedy is not aging itself. The tragedy is believing decline is unavoidable when science shows modifiable pathways. Every colorful vegetable consumed, every handful of nuts, every drizzle of olive oil is not merely a dietary choice, it is a message to your cells that repair is still possible. It is a declaration that vitality remains worth supporting. And here is the most powerful truth of all: the glow that returns is not superficial. It is systemic. It represents reduced oxidative burden, improved structural integrity, and balanced cellular communication. It is health made visible. When women restore vitamin C, E, and A through consistent nourishment, they are not chasing youth. They are restoring biological harmony. And when harmony returns, the face tells a different story, one not of inevitable decline, but of resilience, strength, and radiance that refuses to fade quietly into time. There is a dangerous illusion in modern health culture that youth can be swallowed in a capsule, that vitality can be outsourced to a bottle, that high-dose supplements can compensate for years of neglect. But the human body does not recognize marketing. It recognizes molecules delivered in the context of food, in the architecture nature designed. And when it comes to aging skin, energy, and resilience, the science is increasingly clear. Daily habits shape visible outcomes more powerfully than isolated megadoses ever could. Large population studies repeatedly show that people who eat diets rich in vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, and healthy fats display fewer signs of skin aging than those who rely heavily on processed foods. In one well-known observational study, higher vitamin C intake from food was associated with less wrinkling and dryness, not from pills, from food. That distinction matters. Whole foods contain thousands of phytonutrients that work in synergy. Compound science is still discovering, interacting in ways a synthetic tablet cannot replicate. When you eat a red bell pepper, you are not just consuming vitamin C, you are ingesting flavonoids, carotenoids, fiber, and trace minerals that influence absorption and cellular signaling. When you eat almonds, you are not just obtaining vitamin E, you are delivering healthy fats that improve the bioavailability of fat-soluble nutrients. This is biochemical teamwork. Supplements isolate, food integrates. And here is a sobering fact. Studies estimate that a significant percentage of adults fail to meet recommended daily intakes for key micronutrients through diet alone. At the same time, the supplement industry generates billions annually, yet rates of chronic inflammation, metabolic dysfunction, and visible premature aging continue to rise. The problem is not simply deficiency, it is dietary pattern. After the age of 50, digestion changes. Stomach acid production often declines, a condition known as hypochlorhydria. Research shows that low stomach acid impairs the absorption of nutrients including vitamin B12, iron, calcium, and even vitamin C stability in the digestive tract. Add to this the widespread use of acid-suppressing medications, and nutrient absorption drops further. A pill taken into a compromised digestive system does not guarantee delivery to the cells that need it. Chewing thoroughly, eating slowly, and avoiding overeating are not quaint traditional practices. They influence enzymatic release and gastric function. Proper chewing increases surface area for digestive enzymes to act upon food. Studies in digestive physiology demonstrate that inadequate mastication can reduce nutrient bioaccessibility. In other words, if food is not broken down properly, nutrients remain trapped. Fermented foods such as sauerkraut, kefir, and yogurt introduce beneficial bacteria that support gut health. The gut microbiome influences nutrient synthesis and absorption, immune balance, and systemic inflammation. Research increasingly connects microbiome diversity with skin health through what scientists call the gut-skin axis. Dysbiosis in the gut can promote inflammatory skin conditions and accelerate visible aging. Daily inclusion of fermented foods is not folklore, it is microbial support for systemic resilience. Hydration patterns matter as well. Drinking excessive amounts of water during meals can dilute digestive enzymes in susceptible individuals, potentially impairing breakdown of nutrients. Balanced hydration throughout the day supports circulation, cellular transport, and detoxification pathways. Skin turgor and elasticity are directly influenced by internal hydration status. The glow many women seek externally often begins internally. Then there is the shocking reality of ultra-processed foods. Diets high in refined sugars and industrial seed oils increase advanced glycation end products, known as AGs. These compounds form when sugar molecules bind to proteins like collagen, making them stiff and brittle. Glycation accelerates skin aging, contributing to wrinkles and loss of elasticity. High blood sugar spikes amplify this process. Research in dermatological science confirms that glycation damages dermal structure at a molecular level. No supplement can fully counteract continuous glycation from a poor diet. Healthy fats, on the other hand, support the lipid barrier of the skin. Olive oil, avocados, nuts, and seeds provide essential fatty acids that maintain membrane fluidity. The skin barrier prevents transepidermal water loss. When it is intact, skin appears plumper and smoother. When compromised, dryness and fine lines intensify. Daily inclusion of healthy fats improves the absorption of fat-soluble vitamins A and E, reinforcing structural and antioxidant defenses simultaneously. Consistency is where transformation lives. The body rebuilds collagen slowly. Skin cell turnover follows biological rhythms. One antioxidant-rich meal does not reverse years of oxidative stress, but repeated daily nourishment shifts gene expression patterns over time. Epigenetic research shows that dietary patterns influence which genes are activated or silenced. Inflammation-related genes can be downregulated by diets rich in plant phytonutrients. Oxidative stress markers decline when antioxidant intake increases consistently. The women who appear to age gracefully often practice simple habits relentlessly. A large salad with colorful vegetables, a handful of nuts, fresh fruit instead of packaged desserts. These choices seem ordinary, yet over months and years they alter the biochemical terrain of the body. Reduced oxidative stress, lower systemic inflammation, stabilized blood sugar, improved circulation. Each factor directly influences how skin looks and feels. Supplements have their place. Severe deficiencies may require targeted repletion, but megadoses can create imbalance. Excessive vitamin A in synthetic form can cause toxicity. High isolated antioxidants in unnatural concentrations may disrupt redox balance. The body evolved to process nutrients within food matrices, not in pharmacological isolation without context. There is also the psychological dimension. Preparing fresh meals encourages mindfulness. Slowing down to chew properly activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the state in which digestion thrives. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, which breaks down collagen and impairs skin repair. Daily food rituals can counteract stress physiology. This is not sentimental, it is neuroendocrinology. The transformation many women describe as almost overnight often begins subtly. Within weeks of improving diet quality, skin hydration improves. Within a month, dullness fades as cell turnover normalizes. Energy stabilizes as blood sugar fluctuations decrease. Compliments begin. You look rested. You look brighter. What changed was not a miracle product. It was cellular supply. Every meal is either inflammatory or anti-inflammatory. Every bite either contributes to glycation or to antioxidant defense. This is not about perfection, it is about pattern. Research consistently shows that long-term dietary patterns predict health outcomes more reliably than isolated interventions. The body is astonishingly forgiving. Even after years of processed foods and neglect, measurable improvements occur when nutrient-dense foods are introduced consistently. Studies show reductions in inflammatory markers within weeks of dietary change. Improvements in skin carotenoid levels can be detected after increased fruit and vegetable intake, correlating with perceived attractiveness and health. The mirror is not your enemy, it is a reporter. It reflects internal conditions shaped daily at the table. Food first is not a slogan, it is a biological strategy. When women shift from chasing high-dose quick fixes to cultivating steady nourishment, something powerful happens. The body regains rhythm, repair mechanisms reactivate, radiance returns not as illusion, but as evidence of internal balance. Youth is not preserved in a capsule, it is cultivated in kitchens, in gardens, in daily rituals, repeated long after motivation fades. The most dramatic transformations are rarely dramatic in the beginning. They are quiet, consistent, and deeply physiological, and when the cumulative effect becomes visible, it feels astonishing. Not because it happened overnight, but because the body was finally given what it needed all along.